everything that's on your heart, that is on your desire, it is already meant for you. And now it's just the time to believe and take the action to go achieve it.
This podcast encourages and empowers you to create your own unique real story, develop your own unique real statement, and discover your own unique real self. The power is yours. Good afternoon, Brooke Allison. How are you doing on this wonderful, beautiful day?
I am absolutely fabulous. Thank you so much for having me on today.
Yeah, it's a great pleasure to connect with you. Now, what part of the world are you in right now?
That's a beautiful question because I feel like I'm constantly in a new part of the world. Currently, I am in St. Louis, Missouri, in the United States. Yeah.
All right. How's the temperature up there right now? It's cooling down, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's gorgeous though. It's like, it's finally getting into almost fall where we could like bring out our jackets.
Sweet.
Not quite, but it's beautiful out.
All right. Now dig into me. Tell me the talent that is responsible for us connecting today.
Gosh, I feel like I was like, that's such a beautiful question. I am a mind shift expert and an achievement strategist. So I get to help really incredible, ambitious entrepreneurs scale their income to $250,000 by creating a business and a mindset that is fiercely unstoppable.
Ooh, I love that. Now tell me, who did you learn that from?
Who did I learn that from? You know, a lot of this is just life experiences. I started my first business when I was 22 years old, but I've always been a dream follower. If you would have asked me when I was like 6, 7, my little girl dream was to be Celine Dion's backup dancer. So I've always wanted like these big, extravagant goals. And I went to art school a couple of years ago, and literally just throughout life experience, I realized that I had a deeper mission to help people increase their confidence and increase their income so that they can actually live out the freedom lifestyle that they're desiring rather than just the mundane day-to-day work, eat, sleep, repeat, that a lot of people are kind of into. Really challenging that and going full out in what they really, really desire. So a lot of this came from life experiences as well as my first business prior to this business.
Yeah, so you said 22 though. What are we talking about? I mean, you look like 22 in the picture. Have you stopped in time?
I thank you. I will accept that compliment. No, unfortunately, I have not stopped in time. I am 27, so I am still young.
5 years. Wow, that's amazing.
Yes.
That's wonderful. I guess you must be very happy, yeah?
I am. I actually just spent the past 6 months traveling the world full time. And so I very much am the epitome of following my dreams. And it is very exciting and it is very fulfilling. It's very enthralling and I am very happy. Yeah.
That's great. I think a happy coach makes a good coach, right? A great coach, actually. So where's the best place for someone that's listening to connect with you?
Yes. I actually have a podcast of my own, which I absolutely love.
Tell us the name of it. Come on.
It is called Fiercely Unstoppable.
Love it.
So you can find me on the podcast. Of course, I'm on Instagram, on Facebook, all of the social media things as well.
That's wonderful. All right. Tell me the story of the arrow on your elbow, your right hand.
Yes. For those who cannot physically see me, I have a tattoo of an arrow on my arm. And I actually got this when I was finishing a retreat in Sedona. So perfect place, right, for transformation. And there's this quote that says, when you feel like life is throwing you backwards, right, pulling you back, pushing you back, think of it like an arrow. We have to pull an arrow back to be able to hit the bullseye. And it's just this idea of never giving up, keep going, don't stop. And that's all about my message too, is becoming fiercely unstoppable. Never letting your obstacles dictate who you are and persevering to achieving what we want no matter what. And knowing that we can start again at any moment, even when life is pulling us back a million steps.
Love it. Well, tell me one other thing that you've done consistently over the last 3 years, please.
What I've done consistently, honestly, is my personal growth. And I think that's one of the most beautiful things we can do is constantly focusing on how can I become a better version of me today? How can I be better than who I was yesterday? And within that has completely transformed my life.
How does it make you feel looking back from now to then to see the transformation that has occurred?
I almost want to cry like thinking about that. It's absolutely beautiful. I mean, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, I was in a completely different place. Financially, I was on food assistance. I couldn't afford my bills. And at that point, I didn't even have this business yet. And so within 2 years, being able to build a 6-figure business and accomplish all of my desire list, which I credit a lot of that to building my confidence and working on myself. It's incredible what could happen in such a short amount of time. And I love encouraging people to look back at your life a year ago. What was your life like a year ago? And look at how far you've come now.
Love it. Amazing audience. Again, you're hearing it live from Brooke Allison. You can connect with her through the podcast, or you can also check out brookeallisoncoaching.com. Brooke, let's switch gears for a moment. Let me now invite you into my time machine that is surrounded with beautiful, warm, blue Caribbean water. Brooke, what's your earliest childhood memory?
Oh my gosh. You know what's so funny is I was thinking about this the other day, and memories are so fascinating because often we don't actually remember our actual memory, but we remember the things that people told us about the event. So that's where I'm like, wow, do I actually remember this moment? Or is it a memory of someone telling me about this moment? So if I could guess what my earliest memory is, it's probably being on stage as a young girl. I danced my entire life. Being on stage and hearing the crowd and probably not knowing any of the moves that I'm supposed to actually be doing, but just having fun and loving life and really feeling that joy.
How old do you think you were?
Gosh, probably about 4 years old-ish.
Why do you think this memory is so clear?
You know, I've always enjoyed influencing and having an impact, whether that meant through art, through dance, through theater, through, what I do now, etc. And I think that being a big dreamer and loving being creative, that those moments are very, very prominent in my mind. But like I said, it could be something that someone told me as well.
Well, it is beautiful, I think. Can I offer an interpretation to the thought picture you created in my mind with that memory?
I love it. Please do.
I think the moves really, like as an entrepreneur, I think the moves really aren't as orchestrated as they look on movies.
Yeah.
So the fact that you were on the stage and you didn't know all of the dance moves, but you were there. And the experience that you got was more important than the crowd's reaction. I love that metaphor.
That's really beautiful. Thank you for that interpretation. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. You're welcome. All right. If we fast forward to when you were 12, what was your favorite song?
Yes. I think when I was 12, I was on a country music kick and I loved the Rascal Flatts at that time. I went to a couple of their concerts and one of the most prominent ones was I Melt by Rascal Flatts.
I love it. All right, my friend. Well, we've arrived at our destination, but before we get off of this time machine, there's a small declaration form. So it's yes or no. We're going to move pretty quickly here. Are you ready, Brooke?
I'm ready.
Brooke, have you chosen someone to pass on your skills to?
Yes.
Are you married?
No.
Do you have children?
Nope.
Do you believe in God?
Yes.
Do you have an inner circle of friends?
Yes.
Do you watch TV for more than 3 hours a day?
Guilty, yes.
What about screen time, the phone and or the computer? Is it more than 8 or less than 8 hours a day?
Less, I would believe, yes.
All right.
Less.
And what about reading? How often does Brooke Allison read?
Daily is the goal, so at least 5 times a week. All
right. If you had to share with us your own unique real statement, a statement that represents who you are, Brooke Allison, what would you say that is?
Beautiful question. I think it's just this idea of never giving up and knowing that everything you can accomplish, it's possible for you. And everything that's on your heart, that is on your desire, just that you want, it is already meant for you. And now it's just the time to believe and take the action to go achieve it.
Love it. Believe B-A, Brooke Allison. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate this. In closing, is there anything else you'd like to share with our amazing audience?
This has been awesome and so much fun. I appreciate being here. And I would absolutely love if you reached out to me and told me you heard this episode. And I would absolutely love to hear from you.
Well, there we go. Brooke Allison, thank you for being on what is inspired by 12-minute Convos with Angel Jones. This podcast is produced by Pod Edits. Visit podedits.com for professional podcast publishing.